Oi. We are live and still waiting for our kobold. It is so sad. Hello, everyone.
Hi, people.
Hello.
I am Trisky, your not-so-humble GM. And we are back with the Monsters of Morgram, our Unlucky Rolls Pathfinder campaign. Today, we are rejoining the party after some very fun stuff happened at the very end of last session. Fun with very large quotation marks for you all in chat. But, first things first, I need to do something real quick, so pardon me a moment. Oh, I can't even call him. Okay. Last things seem to, be collapsing apart at the seams. Such a rough thing to deal with.
Hey!
Fucking hell, I had the thing turned on.
What? Do not disturb?
Yeah, because I was being mass pinged yesterday.
Well, understandable.
Alright, hold on, let me save and get off Steam.
Yes, do that, please. I now require your full attention, bitch.
Yeah!
Alright.
Yeah, literally, I had over 200 DM pings yesterday.
Well, now you have the important ones that actually matter because they're coming from me in this group.
Yeah, it came from you. Oh, actually, no, I got DM from my friend, actually. Hold on.
I think I've sent one message to this group and I didn't even ping you specifically. Anywho, bringing us back to the point of what we're trying to get back to. Once again, hello, welcome back to the Monsters of Morgram Unlucky Rolls, our Pathfinder campaign of all monster players. Joining me is Runt the Last, who is our Goblin Druid. We have Asch the Kobold, who is the wizard of the party. And we have Zephyr the Harpie Monk of the party.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Yep, so Zephyr was not here last time in player-wise, but in character, Zephyr was technically scouting ahead from the sky. So during all of the turmoil that happened at the end of last session, Zephyr was nowhere to be seen. And as we start off the scene with a little bit of theater of the mind here, Zephyr, you have been scouting ahead of the party to look out for any potential threats more obvious in the swamp that you could give them forewarning about. And after a short while, you don't seem to really come across anything. So you make your way to turn about to inform them that all's clear before your next attempt to go out and scout again. When you notice it seems to take longer to get back to the party than you'd expect. Like, assuming they kept moving, you should have already seen them by now. So you fly further and further, and you fly back to a small patch of land where from the sky you notice the group there, and you perk up a little bit. Yay, you finally found them. Let's go down and say hi to them. And as you come closer from the sky, flying high above to give them proper bird's eye view, you land to see Chaise has laid down as a somewhat strange, like, lifted sheet bed of some sort. You have no idea what the heck this is, but you know that Asch is laying on it completely unconscious, and Runt is nearby cooking some leeches over a small fire.
This is very not good.
You also notice the corpses of two large crocodiles just stacked in a corner somewhere.
Hmm. Hmm. Start just slowly making our way down, seeing if see can spot anything else around.
Nothing, no even need to roll. You don't spot anything of note around other than, like, standard wildlife chirping and whatnot.
So yeah, then knowing that, she would sloop into nearest tree branch to the cooking.
Yep, there's
Well-
one mostly rotted tree near the land area where the rest of the group is sitting around. You land on it. As you land on it, you panic for a moment because it seems to almost be like it's giving under your weight, but then you wait for a moment and it seems to hold you well enough.
Yeah. Well, there's I did not spot any danger ahead.
Yeah, it was in the head, it was behind.
Something I'll have to remember that. Not used to flying over swamp, I suppose.
Asch, still unconscious, is lying down on Chaise, and the most likely thing Chaise would say at this point is, yes, the threat, it was beneath.
Yes. Well, that is very bad. Because now I'm not so sure how the path ahead was. Do you think no, I don't think we can all climb. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to keep a watch until his condition improves. How is he?
Not fine.
Asch barely sort of like comes back to life, but you can see from the look in his face that while he can barely speak at this point, he also can't move like an inch.
Right, he is just a potato right now.
Hey, could you pass the chips, bro? I gotta watch the football.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
You're in luck. This the swamp actually gets really good reception.
Yeah, I know. That's why we came to Florida, after all.
Oh, shut the fuck up. But yes, as of right now, you are coming to bear witness to the aftermath of the three other members of your party having been assaulted first by a ton of leeches who managed to roll max on all of their rolls to drain the party's strength. And the aftermath of them also fighting two crocodiles at the end of last session.
See, the funny thing is, when you messaged me about what went down, I misunderstood and thought I was going to be flying into combat as like the one person standing. So it breathed a nice heavy sigh.
You're coming. They managed to fend it off. They managed to kill the crocodiles, but not without taking some damage.
I was the only one that was fully incapacitated for the fight.
You lost 0 HP, but you also were able to do shit all.
I know.
0 strength, 0 con.
Yep, if I rolled any lower, I was dead.
Actually, you did roll max. It was impossible for you to die, luckily, just barely.
Well,
did I roll
you
max?
don't die from negative con scores, you die from negative health. You just become more frail.
No, as Pathfinder mentions in the core rulebook that I have, if you reach 0 con, you're dead.
Oof.
Yeah, I thought you told me that.
Yep, I looked it up after the fact, and 0 strength is you're unconscious, 0 con is you're dead. So if you had an additional bout of leeches that did one more 1d3 max roll, you would have been dead.
Sounds like a wizard.
Well, the creatures smell new. I find a good meal helps speed up healing.
As you, I'll try and recover a little bit. Assumedly, you can all take what would be the equivalent of a short rest, and for the sake of brevity, I'm going to say that you recover half of the points that you lost from the leech take. So you all regain 3 strength and 3 con, except for Zephyr, who never lost anything in the first place.
Well, don't if I recall, don't we regain 1 point damage an hour of rest?
Yeah, that's fair. So you would be fully recovered if you took a long enough rest.
So how many of the temp do I
I'm
need to take
double
off?
checking.
Yeah, I'd have to look into the leech thing, but I had like a swarm of leeches as an enemy, and that's always fun. But I had pulled it straight from the book, so I actually don't have it up in the Roll20 to look it up nicely and gingerly like that. I would have to pull up the bestiary. But it's
it's bad. We heal a score point 1 a day.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's not good.
I'm going to be generous and give you back 3 points the first day, but following that, it will continue like that usual rate, because I did give you like double leech penalty initially.
Right, so I'm dropping both 6s to 3.
Yep, both of them are now -3s instead of -6. So, with that in mind, Asch is capable of moving again, but he probably needs help carrying his shit.
Yeah.
Because his total strength score is
2.
Yeah.
2.
My con is 6, so I'm pretty much awake.
Yeah, you're capable enough of keeping alive. You'd have trouble if you were like put into adversity, but as of right now, you are capable of moving around and whatnot. Your capacity for carrying stuff is severely limited, so it's
I'm
a
a
little bit of a
grandpa.
drain on you.
What's his score?
Which score do you want?
What's your strength score?
2.
And you want to guess how much weight I'm carrying?
You need help to stand, and a strong breeze can knock your ass over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
so
I'm
basically one of
carrying-
these other motherfuckers has to like give you an arm.
Yeah, and I'm
Podcasting would be a
yeah,
bitch.
I just looked. I'm overloaded.
If someone wanted to put a bag or something on me, it wouldn't get wet.
Well, yeah, unless it rains. I do have a
Could go
backpack.
between
I
the
could
tree
let you give it to.
Yeah, while you can't really do like fine stuff, definitely Zephyr could carry the bag like by the straps in her talons. It would just remove like your talon fighting for as long as you're holding it.
Here you go. I can't carry this. Zephyr, could you come in here and carry this for me?
She like hobbles over and just like grabs it in her claw and starts hovering a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. And I
Is-
use the staff, the acid staff that Marasmus gave me, to just help me walk around a bit.
You don't even need to. Chase is as the stretcher
Oh,
that
never mind.
Chase became, like props herself up on 4 legs and is carrying you now because she has a lot of strength in spite of having lost it still.
Yeah.
As fighter.
Didn't Chase get torn apart that match?
No, that was me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even with a -3 to strength, she still has 16 strength. She's fine to carry you.
All right. Plus the fact that I basically lighted 75% of my weight, I believe. So.
But But with that, you know that you are still just barely outside of this range that Runt inherently knows he has to announce your presence as you come in. But do you like try and stick around and rest around for a while, or do you head out?
I mean, if we're close to the border, yeah, we're going to rest by the border.
Sure.
If it's late, because we've been traveling most of the
Oh
day.
yeah, it was late at the point that you had that fight. You've already had about it like a full day of long rests because you've just Asch has been literally unable to move up until recently, but overall you just needed to recover as well. So you have like about one long rest's worth of health recovery, if there is any in Pathfinder. I forget.
If we continue moving with me carried on Chaise, I'm basically like a mobile cart cannon.
There are no short rests in Pathfinder.
Or no short rest. I more of a long rest, like a long overnight
Yeah,
rest.
that's base. There's long rest, but there's no short rest.
All right, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to do my health points. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you might want to update that on your character sheet.
Oh,
But-
no, it says it's 15. I don't think I actually did remember to take damage because I was completely unconscious.
Well,
so
you
that's
never
fine.
took damage.
You never took damage, you took stat
Oh.
damage. They took
Yeah,
actual
fair.
damage because they fought the crocodiles.
Fair. Right. Remove one for each temp.
You're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine, actually.
You don't have to adjust your HP. Your HP is as it should be. You didn't
Nah,
lose any
I'm
actual
for the
HP, you
stats.
just lost strength and went unconscious for a while.
So lucky that
Yep.
you don't lose HP when your con goes down.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but you can also still die from it. I did double check the core
Mhm.
rulebook, by the way. It does say that a character who has
Yep.
0 con is
I
dead.
checked myself because I wasn't
So
sure.
it's funny as shit, though. You are so lucky that your con is slightly better than your strength, or you would have been fine.
You know, this is why us wizards always pump shit into con.
I mean, you're telling me you don't do muscle wizards? Come on now.
Yeah, Muscle Wizard is best. I cast Fist.
Yeah.
I cast not giving a fuck.
There
Too
was a
bad. The world
creature-
gives a fuck, so you die.
Imagine being a buff wizard, nothing but strength, dex, and charisma.
No,
Fucking
strength,
Ricardo
dex,
Milo
and
coming into the fucking club.
you
So
need
you're like a stage
intelligence and-
magician. Well, you're like a sexy stage magician, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll show no actual prowess.
Yeah, all show, and then he casts a fireball accidentally at the corner, blows up half the building.
Misfire! or as you would, as you would say in some dumb, like, Gary's Mod RP, misclick.
Hey man, spell stuck, bell stuck.
All right.
Help!
So just to keep things moving along, we're going to fast forward about, like, I'm going to assume you spend, like, another day or so considering the intensity of what you went through to get yet another, you can take off another point because it's been another full day. So you're down to -2 instead of -3. And at this point, I would assume that you start moving along because even though you do need to rest up, you are also aware that if crocodiles came at you the first time, they are very likely to potentially come again or something else.
Yep.
So standing still in the middle of a swamp is not a good idea.
Zephyr asks before she takes off when we go, is there anything, the stuff in this bag, is it heavy but not fragile?
Give me. I had my writing. I had my food. I had my signal horn in there. That's a bit
Right,
fragile.
real-
but others-
Real quick, Asch, do me a favor. What are you keeping on your person?
The staff, water skin, and one ration.
Right, your main weapon, a water skin, and the ration. So that removes.
Yeah, because I switched off the crossbow because I've not been able to hit shit with it.
Yeah, so you're leaving the crossbow in the bag. I'm just trying to calculate how much weight you are suddenly giving to Zephyr.
That is legitimately like 75% of my fucking weight.
So is the Oh yeah, you forgot to write down the staff. I'm not sure if I gave
Yeah,
you a
I
wait for it anyway,
said-
but that's fine.
I could put it in now, actually.
But yeah, overall, you are probably trail rations. You have like up 0.2, up 0.1, and the staff I won't even count. Hey, Zephyr, add a thing to your gear in your additional section on your character sheet that is just add fucking Asch's backpack and set its weight to 27.7. That's how much you would be carrying. And see
what's
what
the
it says
staff
at the
called?
bottom for total weight. I'll get it for you in a little bit here.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So let me put in. Oh, wait a second. Hang on, let me see if it needs up. 20. My total weight is light low 28.2 now. All she
You're
was
light
carrying on her
low?
was rations and a fish that I'm pretty sure she ate already. So
All right, so you are very well still capable of flying at your normal speed with that. That's basically what we were trying to calculate.
All right, cool.
So
Also, how many
as of right now,
rations would you have? Oh, sorry. How many rations would you have used up since we got back on land?
considering that you had just murdered 2 crocodiles and a bit of leech, it is up to you whether or not you do you think accordingly, I will let this happen in retrospect. Do you think you would have smoked any of the meat for more additional rations?
I probably would have also been catching fish as we go, because
I would believe Runt in character would probably smoke it, because native to the land, he would understand how to do it
smoking the
better.
meat would take too long. Probably
Yeah,
just
so never mind then.
Yeah, so you would have at least cut up enough. And Runt is native to this area, so I'll just say I'm waiving the rations while you're in the swamp, so long as Runt isn't incapacitated, basically. So, and when he was almost incapacitated during that fight, you had 2 corpses of crocodiles that you could eat, so as long as you don't let them rot first, you're good.
we make
So don't worry about
gumbo.
adjusting your ration score. If you start venturing outside of the swamp, that's when we will care.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds fair.
And with that in mind, you continue to approach, and Runt, you know that around now is when you should probably start announcing your presence. So I assume you do as such to avoid getting, attacked by Boggards.
Yep. I'll make my presence known and look to see if anyone's nearby.
All right. You announce your presence outside, and you don't hear any response, so there must not be any scouts in this area. This is technically their territory, but they're not patrolling it right now, where the patrol has already passed. So you're probably going to have to keep announcing your presence intermittently as you continue to travel. All right. As you continue along, I would like everyone to give me a -10 perception check.
Minus 10%.
We're sorry, I'm just going... Right. You don't do minuses in this system. I just set the DC higher.
Yep.
That makes more sense. Just roll your perception. We'll see if any of you notice this.
I'll let them roll first and then do mine.
And I have the bad habit. I keep fucking forgetting where it is. There it is.
Oh, Aisha's still reeling.
No, I'm like passing in and out.
All right. None of you seem to notice this at this point in time as you continue to proceed along. As far as nature and things around you, things are normal, but you don't notice the thing. So, haha.
More
The
leeches.
thing, the swamp mustard's coming.
More leeches.
Crocodile.
Probably.
Nope. Assumedly, after the last time of getting hit by a bunch of leeches, I assume you guys occasionally check your legs for leeches to make sure, and
Well,
you have luckily
See,
managed to
you
avoid
would
it.
think that, but Ren probably already forgot about what happened.
All right, Runt would forget that.
My legs
Ash
are.
is
It's a
Okay.
common occurrence in the swamp.
Yep.
Yeah, fair. It's like
Runt is
Florida,
being
they just
propelled
forget.
around, and Chaise is doing you guys the favor of checking because she didn't quite enjoy getting eaten mostly alive by leeches, even though, funnily enough for her, it didn't really reduce her scores enough to actually matter. And she, like, occasionally once in a blue moon, she'll notice one and knock it off, but then, for the most part, you've avoided them this time around, so it's actually not a problem.
Actually, that's a fair point. Do mimics even have blood?
Yes. They're
Oh, they
a
Yes,
do?
mimics
organism.
bleed. They are biological creatures that can shapeshift.
Fair.
So, no, she does not get away with blood loss as a non-issue.
No, I'm just curious.
Yep, I get it. But with that in mind, you continue moving along, and you continue doing your intermittent, like, call-outs, and then you hear some croaking noises off ahead, and you realize you probably reached just about the border of the village itself without having run into any patrols. There's a little bit of unease at knowing that you were able to get so far into Boggard territory without any response whatsoever, even though you were announcing yourself the whole time.
Right.
Strange.
Why is it so quiet?
I'm not seeing anyone up here.
Hey, Zephyr. Get your check in town then. Let's hope there's someone there.
Sure thing. She
And
would
then just passes out.
sleep well.
That's a long way
Yeah,
to
she-
talk. Use the message.
Not fair.
What was that?
You're in the air, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, well, she wouldn't. She wasn't like super far into the air though. She would still been like inside unless you told her to
Gotcha.
go ahead.
Uh,
So she would go up a little higher as that, start just moving a little ahead of the party.
All right. As she once again proceeds towards doing her scouting endeavor, she moves forward and forward a bit more and comes across a very strange looking region of the swamp with some odd tents and everything set up everywhere.
So not nothing I'd recognize from last visiting. No.
You've never visited the Boggard camp, actually. This is the first time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
You
misunderstood. So
the party met Boggards before you even did it, so you actually have never met a Boggard, to my knowledge.
oh shit. So she'll like fly a little closer, take a look at it, see if anything of note.
So you come into this area, and what you can mostly see is this darkened camp. It's about like evening. The sun is just beginning to set, but not enough that's really dark. It's just you're just noticing that it's starting to like the shadows are starting to lengthen for you and everything pretty noticeably. As you come into this area, you smell the stale stench of the bog itself all around you once again. Nothing out of the ordinary for that smell that you've sort of gotten used to all this time being in the swamp, whether or not you want to. And you see crude structures used in the swamp water with spikes protruding out of it, seemingly as barriers of defense for some sort of fort or something. You notice strange walls
My screen is
and
black.
simple tents about as well.
No
Can you see the
people,
map all
though.
right, by the way?
Oh no, it's all black.
Yeah, it's all
Okay,
black.
let me
for us.
give you proper vision. You're in the bottom left. For Asch and Runt, you shouldn't actually be able to see because you're not there. I have you on the GM layer.
Okay.
The stream can see, of course. You seeing anything properly now?
I'm seeing the barricades, foliage, bridge of some sort. Zephyr's not gonna try venturing in here alone if she's never been here before, so she's just gonna fly back to the party and let them know.
So what are you reporting to the party?
She would, as she comes down, say, barricades. It's fortifying. I don't know if they expect attack, but then again, you would know this place better than I would, Runt. And well, we've seen why someone might want to fortify a settlement anyway.
All right, Runt, I would like you to, whatever you feel would be an appropriate sort of a knowledge or history check for me about the locals.
Locals?
Yeah, more specifically, like, this is the check to sort of know, does this seem normal for them?
That would be a local check, probably.
Knowledge local? Yeah, go ahead and roll that. Okay, so to your knowledge, the Boggards, considering you have to announce your presence all the time or else they'll throw a fit, the fact that they're fortifying their home camp quite a bit is not out of the ordinary for you. It seems actually par for the course.
Right, but the fact that we haven't run into a single Boggard patrol is concerning.
Yes, that part is out of the usual. The fact they would normally have patrols everywhere, either in the form of straight up patrols or hunting parties that happen to be in the area who would be very attentive to intruders. So that is out of the question, but the barricades themselves are not anything of note.
I'm gonna quickly, once we woke up, once we started venturing into Boggard's territory, Rent would have cast a spell on himself, and I will DM you the spell.
All right.
So that way you can keep that in mind. And this spell lasts for 8 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we would enter the Boggard City and make our presence known. At least Rent
Right.
would. I was told to come here and haven't really been able to make my presence known, which is at this point worrisome.
All right. So you begin to approach the borders of the Boggard camp and announce your presence. And seemingly in response to your announcement is croaking that you can sort of tell is off. The croaking is sort of like, normally the croaking would be more straight up just acknowledging or something of the sort, you know what I mean? But in this case, it's more pained. It's more dissatisfactory. It's similar to the kind of grunts you would make if your brother would shut the fuck up for a little while.
Okay.
But you do know these croaks are what they're quote unquote saying, as far as you know, because you don't really understand this language very well. They are acknowledging your presence, so you're basically safe to move forward.
Yep. I'll make the party's presence known, essentially, and enter the area and see what's going on.
Alrighty. Let me make sure both these tokens actually have vision properly on them.
I can see. Now, has Runt been here at some point in the past, or is this his
To
first
their
time
main
here?
home? No, this is still foreign to you.
So Runt wouldn't know where to go.
Yep, your knowledge of the Boggards is mostly just by association and running into them in the woods. As far as diplomatic ties between you and the Boggards, not really much of note.
Is long rest equivalent to a full heal?
Yeah.
Okay.
You spent long enough healing at that point,
Okay.
and you have your supplies. But if you have any sort of medical supplies, you probably wound up using a bit of it. If not,
I
you
would have
scavenge stuff
spent
from around.
leftover spells healing because I can do. I have the spell slots.
Well, yeah, you had like a full day of doing that as well, so you got your spell slots back at this point.
Yeah. I would probably follow the sound of cooking.
The cooking seems to come from all around, but the most notable presence is actually, to be honest, right in front of you. As one of the sentries at the front seems to be sitting with the holes that you would normally call ears covered. And I would like all of you to make another perception check for me. This one's a slightly lower DC.
Okay. Oh, there is something I can do to fix that. Okay, Rent wouldn't have known that, but he probably would have thought of something.
Yeah.
He said a perception check.
Woo! Right, sorry, Ash, you have to make a perception check as well.
On it. I'm pretty sure I did a perception check, didn't I?
This is a second one.
Alright.
Alright, Ash still doesn't notice this, but what Zephyr, Runt. You start to notice something. It's not a sound, but it imitates one, and it just seems to be ringing in the back of your head. Very soft, low humming noise, just like high enough pitch to be barely annoying.
Like fucking tinnitus.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of what would be tinnitus, but it's just slowly creeping in.
Nature check
You
or
can do
whatever
so.
check to see if I've encountered something like this before.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a check for that.
What would you call it? Nature, geography.
I mean, yeah, like the idea that you're presenting is more like nature. So do you?
yeah,
you're
I
trying
tried to connect this to something I've encountered in nature.
Yeah. All right. With an 18, you know lots of creatures that make low noises like this, but none of them have felt like this before. It doesn't seem like what you're thinking. It doesn't seem like it's originating from like some creature.
Does it seem invasive? Like most of the sounds in the forest are kind of like ambient. Does this one seem like it's trying to force its way to be known?
It seems unnatural, yes. In that sense. It definitely seems to be getting stronger in this sense, but the amount of strength that this is getting is like you are just on the edge of whatever this is.
Okay. I'll ask the party if they hear the y'all hear that?
Ringing, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, it's,
Annoying.
yeah.
Aish, meanwhile, has not picked up on this, so is completely unaware of what you're talking about.
I will do something just for fun. because I think it'll be funny. Nope. Okay. I wanted it just for fun.
Oh yeah, Chaise does not notice it whatsoever.
Chase doesn't have ears. It's fine.
Chaise is too busy carrying Asch, who keeps groaning about what this and that. But yes, you come in here, and with this newfound knowledge, you turn and you look at this frog nearby you, covering its ears as it turns to look at you. It is staring at you. It has acknowledged you, but it isn't removing its hands from its ears. Its weapon is actually perched up against the wall next to it.
I'll approach the frog. Not the frog, the boggard.
Yes, very distinctly not frogs, otherwise you would worship them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what I don't have message. Does the sound get worse as I get closer to the frog?
Nope.
Or fucking the boggard.
It is about the same this whole entire time.
I'll ask him, what the hell is that noise?
He looks at you, and you can tell that this creature understands that you're talking. But it's like the kind of expression you give when someone is trying to talk to you with a gag in their mouth. He briefly pulls away his right hand from his ear.
I'll pantomime it.
Yeah, so you do this, and he seems to be doing it. You're pantomiming it now. He pulls his hand away from his ear for a moment and puts it back on his ear immediately.
Yeah. I'll grab my ears and make it look like I'm looking for a direction. See if he can direct me.
This one is, funnily enough, a male, which you actually know, funnily enough.
I've probably seen this guy more often than not.
You have somehow figured out the distinction between boggard males and females, which is very subtle.
Yeah.
But that is just from your pure experience being in this swamp.
I just guessed.
Yep. I mean, I had been saying he this whole time, but you said she. So you didn't guess very well.
I thought I said he. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't say she. Whatever. Oh, well. In this certain circumstance, it's not supremely important as the boggard.
Runt is extremely. I don't care what gender. If I know you, I know you.
As long as you exist, you exist.
Yeah.
But the boggard proceeds to like awkwardly take off its hand again. It seems to be like flinching as it does it, but it points towards the north. Towards the building just above you.
Well, it seems like we're not going to be able to talk to any of these boggards because of that sound. Obviously, and I gesture over to the boggard next to me. He's holding his ear socks closed.
Let me go up for a minute. I want to see how far this reaches. And Zephyr will try to shoot up into the sky, see how far till she stops noticing the ringing.
So, how are you moving about?
She would take a leap up and just start flying at a normal enough pace to be able to try to figure out when she hears it less or not at all.
Funnily enough, as you proceed straight up, after a short bit of time, it becomes slightly, minusculely more perceptible, actually. But to settle a point, this is still, like, you guys barely notice this. Like, you can perceive it, and you can perceive how consistent it is. But it is quiet. as far as these sounds go. It's not deafening, so you don't understand why these boggards are acting like it is.
Well, they probably hear a different frequency than we do.
You said Zephyr hears it more higher up, though?
Barely. But yes.
Aliens.
She would keep going up until she either starts hearing it more or stops hearing it.
You keep going up, you hear it more and more, and then you proceed yet further, and it diminishes again. And then you, assuming that you notice that, you come back down to about the point where it is honestly, like, at its strongest in this area, which is still not saying much.
And would that area be within the tree line or above it?
Well above it.
Hmm.
It is, you
All
are
right.
about 400 meters up when you notice it's at its peak. And anything further up or below from that is about the same, but barely perceptibly less.
All right. So she would take one scan around at that height, and then she'd go to let the party know.
I mean, what do you say? You're leaving us
Oh,
in suspense here.
Oh no, I thought I had my talk on. Yeah, she would just take one look around while she's on that level where it's slightly more noticeable, and then before heading down to talk to the party.
And what would she say to the party is what I'm asking. You already said that. We did hear that.
Oh, okay. Yes. As she gets down to the party, she would just say, I think whatever it is in the air. I could hear it. I could hear it more above the tree line, though not by much.
Hmm.
Some sort of bug?
Wouldn't hurt to investigate what this guy was pointing at.
Yep, you remember that I was pointing at the building just to your north.
Yep. And Ron's gonna start making his way over there.
Yep, just about there, you notice that there's a makeshift sort of door just behind the tree here.
I'll walk up to the door and give it a light knock.
Nothing.
Give it a heavy knock.
Nothing.
I'll damn near beat the door in.
Takes a moment, but all of a sudden it does swing open.
Hey.
And you see a familiar form from earlier. They croak at you in distress and frustration.
This?
Yep.
Is it familiar?
Yeah. You met them like once. It's the same priest you met when you initially met the Boggards earlier on.
Oh wait, I don't think
there was one priest among that small party, and then you parted ways anyway. So it's the same one. You barely remember them. Actually, if it's Runt, you probably don't remember them, to be fair, but that's who it is.
That's completely fair. Oh, hey, it's... What's going on?
The priest seems to look at you, notices that you're trying to speak, and just sort of like quickly puts a finger to your lips, like shh. And then steps back into the room and pulls out a large leaf from nearby nature, but with scrawlings on it in the local language.
He's lucky I know how to read.
Well, it's more like most of it is pictographs. There's a little bit of text, but most of it is pictographs. So
He's
you
lucky
would
I
you'd sort of
know
be
how
able
to
to
read.
interpret it. Yeah.
What's it depict?
You get this strange leaf on your thing that just depicts like a sort of like, you know, those old like opening to video game stories similar to like how the Wind Waker starts up, where it's like this ye olde text kind of thing with like
Yeah.
these ancient
Yep,
scrawlings and whatnot. It's
Was
similar
literally
to
playing
that.
that last night.
Yeah, it's similar to that, told across multiple leaves that they proceed to go back and forth taking. But before they continue much further, they just like bid the rest of your party in.
Whoop.
And as you come in, you see the entire wall is covered in these large leaves with this story told upon it.
Okay.
For lack of a better way to do it, we will do the old Once Upon a Time narrator. Once upon a time, life was peaceful in the swamp for the Boggards. While the threats of the outside could come and go, they were contained and dealt with ease by the tribe's warriors. But then it began. This strange thing permeated across the tribe. Only a few noticed it at first, and it was nothing. Then day by day, it grew. Their ears still functioned. Their ears were fine, yet it was deafening. As time went on, communication crumbled across the tribe. And everyone, in their pain and anxiety, continued trying to just do what they normally did to maintain the status quo, to maintain peace and get their minds off of this. But still, the noise grew louder. This strange, ethereal nature sound, or not, they don't know. What they do know is that they can't hear anymore. They are seeing things, and it hurts. One day, the tribe's priest came back home from a long endeavor to this tribe in disarray. The priest was not privy to the signal before, had not been home in a while, and so went to investigate. They contacted the gods of the Toad Village, the Boggards, asking for direction and aid. And what they were told was most disconcerting. That what they needed to stop was well out of their reach. What did this mean? He didn't have an honest answer. All he was able to say was that the arrows pointed to the northeast. And with that, the leaves on the wall, instead of continuing to tell a story, start to go into angrier and angrier scribbles. Until there's just like a pile of ripped up leaves on the ground at the very end.
Did y'all rip that up?
They stare at you.
I point down and I point to the priest.
They look up at the roof.
I look up at the roof.
On the top of the roof is like a local tribal symbol of some sort. They just seem to be a bit confused and are looking in directions. Priest looks back at you and just like sort of blinks and keeps looking at you.
I point to me. I point to Zephyr. I point to Asch. I point to Chaise. Then I point up.
Magic.
They look at
Ward,
where
I
you're
believe
pointing
that's called?
up, and then they sort of like shake their heads and point roughly in the direction of northeast.
Assume so. Right. So I think they want us to go do whatever this thing he was telling us about.
That's a good guess as any. I wonder. I suppose I could discuss it with you on the way.
Well, I mean, it's not like they can hear us, so.
Very true.
Intermittently in between this conversation, you do notice that some of the other boggards in this little tent here that seem to have been helping the priest with something, you have no idea what the fuck it was, occasionally just like twitch erratically or scratch on the walls in like frustration. It seems to be a very common thing. They're all like showing signs of people in like shock distress intermittently.
I would feel safer if we talked outside.
Me too.
The priest simply steps aside, and as you're about to move past, they just like grab Run's shoulder, and you can see like they look in your eyes, and even though it's really hard for you to tell toad emotions compared to frog emotions, you can tell that there's pleading in their eyes.
I give him head pats and smile.
The boggard seems oddly receptive to head pats and steps back.
Alright, I think we should report back to my chief and let them know that the boggards are going crazy. No.
If have time and they had time to tell their tale, but if whatever is doing this seeks to harm them in a final way, will we have time to come back and stop it?
Oh no, that was what I would call above board. Now we're gonna go deal with that right now.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I feel like if I went back, the chief would yell at me and say, "Right, why didn't you go and do that right there? You were there." And
Yeah. Very true. He'd have a point.
So is there like a
then.
consensus to start heading out northeast?
Brent's gonna suggest that.
I
Because it
agree.
seems like these guys are in a lot of pain dealing with this. And I mean, we're kind of at the mercy of Run Swim right now. I feel like that, at least.
I mean, it doesn't seem like Ash is piping up very much to argue, and Chaise isn't here, so yes.
No, I'm just being quiet because Ash is just falling in and out of consciousness.
Yeah, it's fair. So yeah, you don't really have much of the energy to argue. But,
Yeah.
so, as you do this, what do you decide to do for now? Like I was saying when you first got here, it was just about, like, the shadows were just barely starting to lengthen as you arrived. So it's about, like, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 p.m.
We
Earthy
go
time.
northeast.
Another night's rest would be good for him. Gesturing to Ash.
Yeah, but we can always make camp. This seems like what's the word? Time sensitive. That guy, that priest was basically begging for help.
True. Well, no. That sounds here. It won't be any safer than out exposed. Well, although he wouldn't be exposed to creatures like the last we fought.
Mm. Well,
I wonder if we were to, if we get just outside the border of this sound before we make camp, on the way there, if that would be possible. Well, I guess first to see if it would be possible.
yeah, I was just gonna say we can continue going until the sound stops, then make camp there.
True, but if we're heading to the source, we probably won't see that on the way.
Oh,
But
we
if
didn't
we were
even
to-
know if we're going to a source. We were just given a direction to go from both the priest and the picture leaves. Something like northwest.
Hmm.
Or was it northeast?
I believe west. We just got
Here we
lost
go
in that.
again.
Thus the derail begins.
Run's not
We're
too
going
good
east.
with directions. Never has been. He's just been going wherever he's been pointed.
You
The winds
remember
blow
which
west.
you vaguely remember which direction they pointed in while they were inside of the tent, if you can put that back together. We're going northwest, actually going northeast, turning the clock sideways.
I thought you said east. Yeah, Run
Oh,
wouldn't have
no.
remembered which direction he pointed.
This is gonna be a shit show.
I mean, I wasn't the only one in the room, so unless someone corrects them.
I mean, Zephyr backed up on the northwest. Oh, world map. As we head out too, I'm just gonna chime in. So it makes me think back to, well, you experienced these, the songs of my people. We well, we never had that effect, but must be some sort of magic or I'm wondering if there's a way we could block our hearing.
Hmm. Maybe there's a way your song can override it.
Suppose we could try that.
Couldn't hurt.
True, no one would be harmed. And if this is person and hiding, it could draw them out.
Maybe it's someone needing help, and maybe they're trying to get help.
Unfortunate way to try to, but maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really shitty way to get someone to help, but it's something heard.
True, if whatever a few ancestors ago, my people would use it to draw and pray. If that was this being's intent, I do not think they'd be alive.
Well, I mean, there's only one real way to figure out what's going on.
Well, we'll be upon it shortly. If it starts to pick up, I'll sing, and if you fall under my spell, you'll still follow me. So, oh, that'll work out.
Yep.
And if we fall under its spell,
Yeah.
I wish we had some extra paper to rip up.
And with that in mind, which direction are we actually proceeding in?
Well, Runt already forgot which direction he was told. So unless someone pipes up, he's picking his direction and going.
Well, he said, he asked like northwest or is it northeast? Zephyr backed him on the first option.
So Zephyr said northwest, and Asch hasn't chimed in at all.
No, because I wasn't in the room.
Ah,
Well, Zephyr
Okay.
seems to know where they're going.
If we want to head, well, whichever way we head, Zephyr's gonna want to lift up a little bit and try the same experiment with if it gets higher or lower as we go along.
I would have assumed Zephyr mentioned northwest, so Runt would have started making his way.
All right, unless anyone's unless
No
any
objection. I'm being carried by a chair.
we can just Swamp King right now. I just imagine like his hat over his head as he's just like taking a nap on her.
No, majority he's like waking up like randomly and then passing out. So probably by this point, the hat's like in some sort of up curious position. It could be anywhere, hanging off one of the horns. It doesn't really matter.
yep. Chaise has put it in her gut carrying capacity. Gonna come out all slimy.
Yummy.
All right, so I am assuming that, considering everyone forgot the right direction, you proceed out northwest. I'm going
Yeah.
to do one last ditch thing to see if something can course correct, and if it doesn't, this is going to be funny as shit.
Go on.
All right. Wow. Okay. Nobody notices that you're going the wrong way. And so the party begins to proceed to the northwest.
It was a
I got
northeast,
hopeful.
wasn't it?
I got hopeful when I saw your picture turn in the Boggard mayor. But
Hey, listen. Runt saw pictures, saw arrows, and was pointed. And as soon as he looked away, goldfish memory.
Zephyr
need to
was
have
from
admiring the
here.
artwork.
We just need to have the sticks sellotaped to him.
You proceed about travel. So, all right. So you're proceeding about a day's travel, which would be about how long? Rather, an evening's travel. So you are able to walk for about 4 hours, and you're probably impeded by the swamp still for a little bit of the way. So I would say more like 2 miles an hour. So you move about only like 8 kilometers.
These damn fuckers have their non-prompt feet. Because
So this is about how far out you get. Not very far that night before you feel like you have to make camp because it's getting too dark. And you can still hear everything at about the same level. Actually, I would like Asch to roll me another perception check.
One perception coming right up with an extra sunny side egg.
Nope.
Asch is still not privy to what is going on. You have been told about this strange ringing noise, but you haven't started to notice it yet.
Oh no, I think my head's ringing already.
You have other things you're focusing on, so you're not really able to pick up on it. As for Chaise, I'm gonna roll perception for Chaise, but yeah, you go about this far, and then you have to sort of stop for the evening.
Listen, if we hit the mountains, we've gone too far. Or if zooming in stops, we've gone too far. We're looking for an arrow. Keep that in mind.
Alright.
One thing you do notice, this is something different. I would like Runt, who is native to this area, to make a perception check followed by a knowledge in nature. Well, actually, do the perception check first, and we'll see if it even matters. Okay, yeah, roll me a knowledge in nature. All right, you're still fine because the perception check was more than enough. Wildlife in this area seems to be more aggravated than usual.
Hmm.
But as the night comes to a close, nothing seems to attack you or anything. You're still safe for the time being. As you wake up the following morning, the humming sound at the back of your head is about half a decibel louder and stays there.
Alright, I'm going to do another intelligence to see if I remember. Yep. He had a revelation last night after he went to bed.
What would that be?
A dream of the priest just like slapping him back and forth.
Oh shit! Ah shit! We're going the wrong way. Don't forget to heal a point of damage back.
Oh.
It wasn't
so you're now down
northwest,
to, I
was
think
it?
you're at -1 strength.
Yep.
Oh wait,
It wasn't
should I refer
northwest.
a
What
point?
direction was it? Roll 1d3 to decide which direction you think it is now.
It was southwest. Shit. 1d3.
It was southeast.
We're going right back to the town.
Yeah, alright. So you spend the first 4 hours of today's travel heading back to the Boggard village because you obviously went the wrong way. Of course it was going southeast, you idiot. What are you doing? As you continue through the town, you notice some of the Boggards giving you weird looks and looking at you angrily because, assuming they couldn't hear you, you didn't announce yourself this time. And so some spears are promptly pointed in your direction, very quickly diffused, and the priest comes back out and looks at you, just like, what the fuck are you doing?
I look lost.
You chose the wrong direction.
The Boggard priest cannot understand a word you're saying, but just sort of like,
I point the way
Tries
we
it.
came. See if that's where he points us.
Zephyr is just hidden by branches and shame. Just like, I don't even want to look at any of these people now.
The leaves shall be my protection.
so, this Boggard priest seems to think you're playing some weird game and just sort of points in the same direction as you to imitate you.
Please don't.
Okay. Oh, I guess we're going back in northwest.
And then Runt points his other hand that way, and the Boggard does the same.
Oh my god.
In the next couple of moments, you're beginning to do the Macarena.
Hey, Macarena. Hey!
And with that in mind, you proceed. At this point, you probably woke up, what, around like 6 a.m.?
Yeah, early start.
All right, so you got back around 10, and you began to head southeast at about the same pace, so about 2 kilometers an hour, considering it's a swamp.
So we've made no progress at all today.
In fact, you probably made negative progress, because, let's see, you travel, when around would you set up camp? About like 9 p.m. again?
Yeah, probably.
All right, so that is 11 hours. You have gone additional 22 kilometers in this.
Oh, no, I was pointing back the way we came from to see if that was the right way.
Yep, and you're heading in that direction.
Run, is the sound a little louder to you now?
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, it's still about that half decibel level louder.
Great.
Are we going the right way?
I hope, because I feel we have I feel our time is limited.
And you all set up for the night, and you lose another point of strength. You're back to everything is normal.
You're back to
normal.
We're back
And
to
as you-
normal.
And as you wake up, Asch, you are no longer incapable of hearing it. You can begin to hear this small hum at the back of your mind.
I'm
Same
now
with
capable of
Chaise.
hearing it.
Yes, you can feel this. Hear feels like the wrong term for it, but you can perceive this hum.
Oh, I can see it.
You can hear it.
No.
Not see it. You can't see sound.
Well, technically, it can if it's bouncing off water. It's got a ripple.
That's not seeing sound, that's seeing the physical ripple. Anyway, I'm not going to get into this kind of philosophical debate in the Pathfinder game,
Yeah.
because it is
Go
going
on.
to set us way off track, which is already happening, so I don't really need to try.
It's Pathfinder, dude. We're just
And
gonna derail it.
as you wake up, would you roll another intelligence check for me, Run?
Oh my fucking God.
It wasn't going to get any better than a 21. Maybe by 1 point. That was the best we were going to get.
Yeah. Well, that's so. I'm going to say, what did you think the DC was that you set for yourself for this? Because this is your thing.
Oh, the first DC was just to see if I would remember. The second one, I thought you were going to set a flat DC to see if Run would have any semblance of recognition of, oh, we're going the wrong way.
Yeah, that's about it. So I would say like a DC 15. You get a vague feeling that you're still going the wrong way. Roll 1d2.
I'm guessing
One
red
is
bad.
1 is the correct direction. 2 is the bad direction.
Let's go 2. Damn.
You finally realize, oh no,
Wait.
he pointed that way.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I turned to Zephyr. Hey, Zephyr.
Yes.
We're going the wrong way.
I just imagine Zephyr slumping over in absolute like defeat at that.
We might
Wah.
die here. We might die here.
Yeah.
I second that.
And in the following morning, alongside this, you notice that the sound has increased about like another quarter of a decibel. As I am now assuming you are all heading northeast.
Mm-hmm.
At dawn, you wake up at 6, and you're gonna go another day until about like 9 p.m. Assumedly, I'm just gonna round it up like so. So another 22 would be wrong. It would be 6 plus 9 times 2, so 28 kilometers about. And as you proceed northeast, around this point, the volume of this strange noise has increased a whole decibel. It is much more obvious now. It is still not like blocking out all perception or anything. but you can definitely not ignore it anymore.
Okay. Do I
Alright.
see the arrow that was shown in the painting?
The arrow that was shown in the painting?
There was mention of something being pointed towards something.
Oh yeah, the Boggard literally pointed northeast with his hand.
Mm.
So no, you do not see the Boggard's disembodied hand here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No,
I
roll
see.
wisdom. You'll see an invisible
Skeleton
hand
mage
pointing.
hand.
All right. And as you get to this point, you make camp again, and I am going to do something right here.
Ben Troll Kobe comes out of the swamp to give you guidance.
You hear yet additional scuttling sounds on top of this strange noise, as some agitated movement is off ahead in the underbrush.
Question. Would the scuttling give age flashbacks to the fisher crabs from before?
That's up to you.
Can I see what the scuttling is? with
Try
my
and give a
eyeball?
perception for me.
Should I do a D1, D1, D2?
Because you can
just to
see the foliage move around. Okay, yeah. Hey, look! You notice something that looks familiar, except this time it is a much different color, and their attire seems different. This reminds you of those lizard men you ran into before. Except they're lizard men up here instead.
Ah.
Wait. If the lizard men are more sure down south, what would they be up here for?
And
They're-
these lizard men seem to be really pissed.
Oh boy!
Are they also holding their ears?
No, actually.
I'm gonna wave Zephyr over to stay near me and probably
Stays near.
go try to talk to these guys.
Near but slightly above. Slightly above.
I
to the
need you
side, but in
within
front.
touch distance.
Okay, yeah, she'd stay closer to him.
I need you within touch distance for spell reasons, just in case shit goes bad. But I'm gonna walk over. What coloration are their scales?
So the ones you met on the way out towards Stantrum were green, like a bluish green, but these guys are a more notable orange.
Oh, no bueno. They seem visibly angry.
Yes, they seem visibly upset. But they don't seem to notice you at all. Damn, what is up with these motherfuckers rolling really low?
And rolling really fucking high.
Okay, here's another. I'll DM you context to so have you set the DC.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay. You succeed.
Okay. I'll turn to Zephyr. We should be a little quiet and see what they're doing.
Should I stay near you or go above?
Go above, but if shit goes down, come near me. I got something for you.
Keep in mind it is later in the evening, so imagine it's about like 8. It's dark.
Yeah,
Right,
we're just
Zephyr's
going
gonna
to.
Run solid snake over here.
We're just going to seek into the swamp.
She will leave she'll leave Aisha's bag down here though before she heads up.
Yeah, Ace carrying his own ship.
Ash can carry his own shit again. Yeah, he has
I'm
enough
right.
strength back.
I should have mentioned it. I probably nicked it
So-
off of you.
Oh, never mind.
Good thing we
I mean,
didn't
at
have-
this point is when he would have recovered. Like, yesterday is when he would have recovered, so... this entire time of travel, Ash has had his own shit again.
Yeah, you can drop the shit, the item from your inventory.
And with that in mind, how does Zephyr go about this? And also Ash, but Zephyr first.
Well, I haven't
She
rolled.
she gets above the tree line and then just like goes like a little forward from where the rest of the party is. See if she could try to kind of get a glimpse of them through there. Just be ready.
Alright. And Ash, how do you proceed knowing this, like, information? I'm assuming Runt has sort of, like, disilluted this information to you as well. Am I correct?
I mean, yeah. I would have pointed out
Probably.
the kobold, the lizard folks that look angry, and suddenly Runt disappears.
It's funny because the last time the lizardmen were confused when they first saw me because they didn't know what a kobold was. But I don't feel like testing my luck here, so I'm probably going to follow Runt's lead and go for stealth.
Yep,
Sorry,
you
quick
all
hit
seem to
surprise.
have no trouble whatsoever staying out of sight and notice as these agitated lizard folk begin to move past you, seemingly in some hunting pattern. And instead of the usual what you would expect, which would be some draconic, like, croaking and whatnot at one another to give signals and whatnot, they're only moving and communicating via hand signals.
Can I make a linguistics check to see if I can determine anything?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's up a lottery ticket at this point.
All right, I will tell you right now, I'm hoping it's back up. I reacted so, like, bullshitly that I accidentally clicked the stop streaming button. Luckily, the broadcast didn't end, and I just turned it back on. So I'm just waiting a moment to make sure we're live again. God damn it, Run.
All right.
Run's roll is so good it turned the stream off.
Yeah, basically. By proxy.
I think
All
the
right,
stream is
Half
still
of the
running.
DM's life points.
Point.
Yeah, I clicked
All
to
right,
start up I will again. tell you right now.
Yeah, chat, you're the enemy
It
now.
just-
We're taking your
So,
health.
The
so
roll that never be seen.
your linguistics roll, another natural 20, the second natural 20, or third one. I'm losing track at this point of how many you've done
Third.
today. Third.
Third.
Your third natural 20 of the session. You notice that this hand signaling that they're doing to one another is not like any standardized sort of hand signaling or whatever, but you can sort of piece together that was all put together slapdash in response to something. They seem to be following it well enough, and the signs are very crude and straightforward. It's just like, you move, you stop kind of shit. Like basic bitch kind of stuff that you would see someone pretending to do like SWAT signals do.
Am I able to comprehend this enough to converse with this language? Or would I take a little
You
bit more
can
practice?
understand that it is not a full-fledged language. It is basic instructions for like a hunting party. So you would
Okay.
not be able to communicate anything greater than you stop and you move and you attack kind of shit. That's basically
Okay.
like the entire extent of this strange hand language as you know it.
How many of them are there?
There are about 6.
Yeah, let's let them go. Lizard folk are bad.
Do you think we are any condition to fight lizard folk?
Lizard folk, well, I mean, honestly, probably, but that's me. But lizard folk are bad.
This
Yeah.
lizard folk, agitated but seeming to have some sort of goal, continue to move past you. And after about an hour, you feel like they've gone far enough that you can set up camp, and you do so.
Yeah.
So you set up camp in this little area, but knowing that there are potentially threats around this area, you make it a little bit more concealed than usual.
I'm gonna cast that same spell on myself.
Suppose no fire tonight, yeah?
Yep.
I can use. Oh no, I was going to say, could I use the spark and Buddy, light my hands on fire to use that method, but no, that would actually still be bright.
It would
Now
still
it
be
also
bright as
set
fuck,
yourself
yeah.
on fire.
No, I did it before to dry out, but
Well, yeah, but you were also covered in water for that purpose. This time you're dry, relatively. You would set
fair.
yourself on fire.
Also I don't want to burn the entire fucking swamp down.
Alright. But,
If-
yeah, yet another night passes. What's up,
Oh,
Zephyr?
before everyone slept.
Before the night.
Yeah. Do perhaps whatever this is, if it hears you, you hear it.
Well, I don't know. Asch was kind of unaware until like yesterday. What was it today?
It was about yesterday that he would start
Yeah.
being able to perceive it at all.
So I think
Because he
whatever
failed.
this is,
Funnily enough, you and Zephyr hit like a pretty. I said it like a DC 25 for the first check, and both of you hit it, and then I lowered it by 5 every time I had you do it, and Asch still didn't get it when it got down to 15. The next time it was a 10, so you would have naturally heard it.
I think that this thing might be problemsome because it might spread further than
Could I roll a
this.
nature check or a knowledge check to see if I would actually recognize what it is? Because I've been adventuring around wildly on this bloody rock.
You can go ahead and give me a nature check, but I will tell you right now, it would probably provide you less than I think the nat 20 or really high motherfucker that Runt rolled earlier to do basically the same thing.
I'll
Oh,
still
he
do it
got,
anyway.
he got an 18, so if you don't beat an 18, you're definitely not getting... Right. Yeah, you got a nat 20. You still get about the same idea. This is not like some natural noise. It feels foreign. It feels invasive. But this is not familiar to you, per se.
All right. So it's definitely not from fucking Morgram.
No, and one of my concerns is that this thing will spread.
You're right there, Runt. It might probably do. I believe the right course of action here is either kill it, burn it, crush it, or any of the above.
We may need.
Pardon?
All right. So, assuming that you don't have anything else in particular we want to do with the night, we're proceeding into the next day, where you continue your travels.
Assuming uneventful night.
Oh, question.
Uneventful night. The sound
we
has
go to-
gone up
before we go to
another
sleep.
decibel, and now it is actually now loud enough that it is making it somewhat hard to communicate between you.
Like
Like, you can still hear each other, but you feel yourself having to elevate your voice.
like full on tinnitus that you gotta speak up a
Yeah.
little bit.
Question. Is there like any orange bitty pigment berries or things around?
I mean, there's tons of wildlife in the swamp. As far as anything specifically like that, you'd have to do a check for me.
Like very similar, like very not very off color of orange that the lizardmen were colored.
Oh, no, there's nothing like specifically like their shade.
Fuck. I had an idea. It won't work.
Go pretend to be a lizardman. You haven't
I
run
was
into
gonna smash up some berries and put it on my scales to look like them.
Yep, you have not actually encountered any additional lizardmen or whatever on your continued travels here, as it is another day, and so you would accordingly go about another 28 kilometers max. At this point, though, I would like we move about, let's see, you can start at 6 a.m. around, we're just being consistent with this, and around 4 p.m. is when I'm stopping you to make a constitution check for me.
Oh, fuck off.
So I cast that spell before I went to bed. Would that wear off when I wake up, or is it still going on for a little bit?
Holy shit, Zephyr.
It is not. It is still on, but it doesn't seem to aid you.
No, I'm just curious if it'll still be on.
Oh, it's about 8 hours is the duration of it. So yeah,
Right.
if you cast it before bed, you would have to cast it again in the morning.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Asch.
What have I done?
Everything is colorful. Very colorful.
I'm high as a kite.
No, not so much. You're seeing things. Your faculties are still there. You can think logically about it. It just looks like someone like took the nature around you, pulled it into Photoshop, and cranked the saturation.
Well, like it just dyed into way too many colors.
Oh yeah, it looks way too bright and colorful, even for the swamp area.
I'm gonna state to the group, I'm gonna do a test. I used detect. Oh fuck, wrong spell. Detect magic.
Detect magic?
'Cause I'm gonna see if I can determine if it's magic.
Let's see. I need to read this more specifically to make sure.
Because realistically, this would be a presence or magic aura.
Okay, I was seeing if it was specific about distance. Yes, you perceive that there is a magical aura. And it is all encapsulating around you.
Like, how far would it encapsulate? Where would be the biggest
As
point?
far as you can see.
As they turn around, just like get slight shimmering eyes, I'm looking around, seeing what the fuck
So
the biggest point is.
Asch, basically you start seeing everything oversaturated, and then you're like, is this magic? Let me cast this thing that lets me see auras, and all of a sudden you're blind because everything is aura. It's basically like you just got flashbanged by the world around you, but until the spell decays you, or you voluntarily turn it off.
I'm voluntarily turning it off immediately.
Yeah, you like flashbang yourself. Everything around you is magically aura'd in some way, shape, or form, and it doesn't help that you were already seeing like 20 shades of color and 20 shades of gray, but really bright gray. Shut up.
I love 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, that was.
I'm going to immediately then turn to them.
It is like a painful, sudden revelation.
And I'm turning around instantly. Okay, this is not an animal. Ow!
As for Zephyr and Runt, you do not seem to notice any adverse effects at this time. You can still hear it, or perceive it, rather, is the better way to describe it. But you aren't really you aren't starting to get agitated or anything else.
Okay, does it seem like we're getting closer?
What are you feeling?
Ow, my eyes!
The decibel, as you continue to travel, has been steadily getting stronger.
Does it seem like we'll be... Oh, there's no way to actually tell. I mean,
What
we
about
gotta...
18 here? You have another 10 kilometers that you go.
Yeah, I say we just
Hey,
try to
Zephyr!
get to it.
Yes?
This sound, man. This sound, it's fucking magic!
Oh.
When you detect... I used a spell known as Detect Magic to see what the fuck it is. Oh boy, it was not a pleasant sight to be flashbanged. Ah, my eyes.
Banged?
It's a tool that some adventurers use to clear out monsters that are sensitive to light.
It's a strange tool that seems to be from another era and universe.
Oh no, flashbangs were used around Renaissance to late medieval.
Yeah, but in this kind of areas, it probably wouldn't be referred to as such.
No, Asch has been around adventurers. He's raised by them, so you would understand it. Not to the extent of what everyone else would. Yeah.
Yep. It is a tool that hurts and is loud.
Oh no.
It is insanely loud.
Should I start trying to counter it? That might help the ringing in your head.
No, it's not the ringing that's the issue. It's the light that got into my eye. Ah, God, my eyes, I can't see well. Basically, what it does is that it disorients as much as possible. Ah, God.
Well,
Let's just
it would
find
distract you
something.
from that. Should we go as I try to drown it out.
You could try, but I don't think it's going to drown out for long.
So I'm going to gather are you going to attempt your captivating song as a means of trying to, like, counter this in some shape or form, or no?
If no one objects, you will.
I'm not objecting.
All right, Mash, will go. Lay it down real smooth.
Cha-cha, real smooth.
All right. I would like everyone, other than Zephyr, to make a will saving throw for me. All right, you have passed just fine. Chaise is absolutely fine. And I need one from Asch.
On the way. Da 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 da.
Just gotta pass.
Where is here? 13.
All right.
I'm a
What is your charisma modifier, Zephyr?
+2 would be 15 altogether, I believe. It's 13 plus charisma modifier.
Yep. Okay, so Chaise and Runt both pass. Chaise with a nat 20 and Runt with an unnatural 24. And Asch, meanwhile, seems to be encapsulated by the song again. And as you become entranced in this song, Asch, your entire focus swings to Zephyr and just, like, listening to this pretty music. You temporarily forget what's going on around you otherwise. But basically, as soon as Zephyr even considers stopping to sing and, like, a single note, like, stops the song, immediately you get this buzzing and everything back.
it's back!
So at best, what you have discovered is that the captivating song serves as a temporary distraction for anyone but Zephyr, who decides to voluntarily fall for it or fails the check.
So, real quick. I do have this book prepared daily just because I just didn't think about doing it. After we figured this bit out with the song, Vern's gonna fucking face palm, walk over, tell everyone to gather around, and he's gonna touch everyone at basically the same time. Someone's getting a foot.
Probably Chaise.
And he's gonna cast Nature's Path, letting them move unhindered in swamp terrain.
All right, so you're just speeding yourself along a good bit?
Yeah. For the purpose of... So, we know the shortest, easiest, fastest route through the wilderness for the purposes of determining overland speed. Treat any trackless terrain as though it was a trail or road. And trail or roads are considered highways. One creature per caster level, we're caster level 5, also gains a benefit from the effect. So
you proceed to move further along, and after a very short amount of time, you reach the edge of the swamp, and the terrain begins to rise. As you have reached the very edge of Morgram's middle mountain range.
First time we're here.
And this is the first time any of you have been here, because the mountain range that Asch was native to was far to the northwest. Like hundreds and hundreds of kilometers to the northwest. So
I have been roughly, from the northwest mountain range, venturing through this area, ended up somehow in the swamp.
Yep. But with that in mind, you have now approached the mountain range. You continue to travel, and with your unhindered progress, you begin to start to climb a little bit. And as you reach about here, I would like everyone to once again make a perception check for me. God fucking damn it.
What is it with you? Why?
That's 4.
We need to make a fucking nat 20 counter for you exclusively.
All right. Runt, Zephyr. I'll allow it for Zephyr because it was a nat 20. Anything else would have failed, actually. Asch does not perceive this, by the way.
Damn it.
At the very back of your head.
Do we get a sense of direction?
It is further in the direction that you're already going, but as far as precise direction, no. You just know that around this point is when you started being able to perceive it.
I think you were right, Runt. Someone who needs help.
What are you saying over there?
Oh yeah, and the decibels have risen a couple things, and you all basically had to shout to communicate with one another now.
What?
I think you were right. Someone needs help.
Who
Let's
needs
just
help?
accept the fact, and he's just here.
Someone up there.
Say it again!
They need help.
Hey. Also, hey, on top of the perception check, would everyone roll a con save for me?
No.
No. It's blunt.
Okay, Runt and Asch are in the same boat. Zephyr, you are actually doing pretty fine. I'm going to roll for Chaise as well, just to add this along, just in case. But then I will inform you of what you're noticing.
Now that I think about it, how is Chaise climbing the range?
There are things that can climb
Prehensile
that she
feet.
can turn into.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. She can turn herself into
She can
like
turn
a...
into a ladder, literally.
Damn, that's one extendable ladder.
The
Yeah.
ladder that climbs
All right.
itself and other eldritch core.
There is literally a weapon called a gnomish battle ladder.
I know, I've heard of it, and it sounds fucking hilarious.
It's good. All right,
How would you even
so
use that?
I'm going to start with Zephyr. Zephyr, you actually don't have any adverse effects here. All you are really perceiving as of right now is, once again, the ringing is still there, but intermittently between the ringing, you still hear... Otherwise, nothing of note really for you. Runt, I will save for last, because Asch and Chaise are having about the same reaction right now. The saturation isn't a problem. But everything is embossed.
What the fuck
You know
is
what that looks
embossed?
like?
No, because I don't even know what embossed is.
So, embossed, you know how you might, like, chip something into stone or armor in the kind of way, in like an ancient way?
Why, as in like the
Like
engraving?
the edges of everything you are seeing are heavily darkened, and the border just next to the edges is brightened to give this sort of embossing effect. It's almost
cell
like
shading.
no, that's not cell shading. It's more disorienting because it's not as natural.
Sure, I've never heard of it.
So there are these, like, imagine like a light source is up to your top left and the shadow is to your bottom right, but it's unnaturally just straight in that line. So every edge that you see is like, put something in Photoshop and crank up the sharpness.
I see.
And that's what you're perceiving as of right now. So, you can very well see all of the edges of the mountains and whatnot that you are soon to be climbing. But you can see them a little bit too well to the point that's disorienting. Now, Runt. For Runt, you too have this embossing effect going on. But you're also seeing all of this through a fisheye lens effect.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh.
Run must be freaking the fuck out.
It's just another trip. Don't more about it.
The rest of
Just
your
run.
faculties, the rest of your perception is fine, but your vision is fucked right now. And so, in spite of your wild step, because of that failure, your speed slows to a crawl because you find yourself trying to climb this mountain that you know that you have to pass now, don't you? But every time you reach out for something that you think is right there, it's a little bit further away or it's too close, and you're having trouble climbing up here.
I will suggest this is how early. What time of day is this right currently?
At around this point, when you arrive here, it is about like 4 p.m.
I think we should start setting up camp because this is going to be sickening.
Will it improve though?
We don't know, but
Every time we rest.
I have something in mind that one could try. It's something that Puck would have taught him early on to help clear his mind,
Ugh.
but it's something he can only do on himself. So we'll see how this goes.
Ugh. I don't know. Every time he rests, it gets louder. I can.
I mean,
Wow.
we're yelling at this point.
Yeah,
I could see
you
you,
could
up
just
the
you could
way.
just like out of character talk to each other, but everyone is literally like yelling now in order to communicate via voice.
I could sing us. I could try singing us the rest of the way, but I never tried that with anyone on a cliff. Or, mountain.
we should. No,
But
it's dangerous to climb the mountains at night.
dangerous to wait with too.
I mean, catch-22. I just think that we should at least try to tackle this thing well rested, to the best of our extent. And if this works on me, it'll be a bit better.
Well, I really won't do it alone, so I'll rest as we can have.
I will say, the next day, Wrench will get up well before everyone, and this spell takes an hour to cast.
All right, so yeah, you get up at about like
He
5 a.m. and
has
begin
a bunch
prepping it.
of instances he has from Puck just doing shaman and ritualistic shit. And he is going to cast Rite of Centered Mind.
All
I get a
right.
+1 resistance against mind affecting effects and +2 if fears involved. Anytime I can expend the duration of the spell to get a +2 immediately. No, I immediately roll a second one. Or I immediately roll a saving throw, but must take the results.
All right. You're
So
trying to
maybe
steel yourself towards this.
trying to ease my mind, getting clarity on the task at hand because this is becoming distracting.
Right.
And
So,
hopefully this works.
The next day, Asch and Zephyr and Chaise wake up to Runt having his nice little circle of lavender and other lovely old lady scents, trying to clear his mind. And you wake up, and at this point, the volume has increased another 2 decibels. You basically have to be screaming right next to each other's ears in order to speak now.
We need to deal with this!
And after about like the first half hour of waking up, I would like everyone to make their con check for me.
And what I
Would
Or
this...
fortitude saving throw is what I mean.
Oh. I mean, that's a big difference.
18.
Would this be considered mind affecting?
Yes.
I add a +1 to this roll.
So
14.
you have a 14.
I'm considering just immediately popping the spell to get another roll. Because we both know. Yeah, no, I'm gonna immediately get a.
All right, so you're
what is-
cranking that up to 16.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's a reroll
Ah, okay.
immediately. Anytime during the spell's duration, whenever I feel a mind affecting effect, reroll as an immediate. And I don't get the +2 because it's not a fear effect. It's just the +1.
Okay,
So-
go ahead.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Doesn't
So-
change.
Asch, Runt, and Chaise. You're actually handling it
Zephyr
well
got 11.
today. Zephyr, you have a headache,
Uh,
but the world isn't distorting around you, luckily. It's just painful.
all right. She's probably flown with a headache before. You can still lift up.
Yeah, you can still
cool.
fly and move as normal, but you like RP wise, you are mildly agitated at all times because of this constant, consistent migraine on top of this noise.
Once
Can we try to
again,
get there today? Ah.
Nature's path.
I'm not gonna make it.
We need to try.
I would love to try and use detect magic to figure out where the fuck we're meant to go directly. But in character, judging what happened last time, not a wise idea.
I have an idea, but this involves
Fro, come on, give us the idea, Runt!
Zephyr. This would involve me using my wild shape, transform into a beast that Zephyr can carry, and we can scout. Because if Zephyr can fly, that's going to be faster than all of
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
would
God,
Zephyr be able to
I can-
carry me as in my current size? Because you're tall, you're larger than me.
Ooh, maybe.
You're able to carry, I'm pretty sure you're able to carry one size category lower than you. So Zephyr is able to carry both either Runt or Asch, but she cannot carry Chaise because Chaise is also medium.
I say we go up and look around. This way I don't spin a B shape, and if something bad happens and you end up dropping me, I have an out.
You're just stuck in B form.
All right, let's go.
Alright, I will willingly allow Zephyr to pick me up, and we can go try to find the source of this.
All right. So you're
And hopefully-
continuing up, and now you are finally getting to the point where you have to basically ascend a very, very steep slope for this. So your movement isn't as much horizontal across the map anymore as it is more vertical. So while your wild step is coming into effect, I will say that just now before you wonder, it is also not going to look that way on the map because the distance you're traveling in kilometers is going to be much slower, but you're climbing a mountain. So just making that clear. As-
Also, since I'm just gonna do this real quick. Spells cast. That's 1 second, one first. I will also, since those spells are on concentration, I will give our bird friend Owl's Wisdom, which gives you +4 to your Wisdom score for a minute per level. So if we need to look for anything, you add a +2 to your rolls for anything Wisdom related.
All right. As you proceed up the mountain cliff, I mean, as far as Asch can tell, this is a mountain. It is not a spectacular range with magical bullshit going on and strange crystalline scrag. No, it's just a normal mountain cliffside that you're going up. So as far as spotting things out, you are trying your best to follow like what you did when you were living out in the mountain range northwest of here.
I was
And-
traveling with the party, but yeah, we went for a lot of mountain ranges.
Yeah, you traveled through there a lot. So you've been to a mountain range before, and this seems more par for the course.
This looks like a range!
But as you're climbing this one specific peak, you're looking about. And I would like you to make me
A
a
perception.
perception followed by a knowledge nature if you beat a DC of 15 on the perception.
Yes. So perception and nature, you said.
Yeah, roll a perception if it's 15 or higher. All right, then roll a knowledge nature for me. Okay.
I think that's solid.
That right there is a strange formation that is not usual to this kind of mountain range.
I'm just gonna point at it and look at Zephyr.
Zephyr, roll a perception for me.
I'm with Zephyr. Would I see him pointing as well?
Oh yeah, you would.
Assuming Zephyr passes, you notice. Yeah, you both notice him pointing in some direction.
Over there.
Over there.
Does it look like kind of what we have for our frog shrine?
It is a platform, a bit of flat land, larger than just like a stepping stone in this mountain face that Zephyr can very easily land on with Runt and take a breather as Asch slowly climbs up that way.
How's the
Right.
sound here?
The
I'm gonna assume
sound
because we're getting closer, it's blistering.
is, I mean, yeah, as you've been proceeding further and further, it's been getting higher and higher. And at this point, you can't like even hear each other if you're screaming in directly into each other's ears. You are for all purposes deaf right now.
The funny question is, if we get too close to the damn thing, we're just gonna lose our hearing and be deaf permanent.
I am going to willingly succumb to the sound to see if I hear the voice again.
What you hear is the same as before, obviously quite louder, but help me.
I'm going to think to myself, maybe this thing can hear. Actually, this is better since they can't hear my thoughts. I'll DM you.
Knowing right, it's probably some really fucking hilarious shit.
Just to add that little extra oomph, Mind powers. Woo!
Mind over magic.
And this is where we'd plug our sponsor, if we had any.
Yep.
With our sponsor today.
So with this thought going through your head in response to the voice, there is a brief pause. And then all you hear is and with that, you seem to feel like a string between you and a point inside of this mountain. And as you turn and look, that string goes straight through the wall of this little platform that you've landed on. The wall face of this little area. It is a small, like, cave-style inlet with a platform out front. There's a little bit of cover over top of you, so if it were to rain, you would actually be free from it at this area. But inside of this area is what looks to be just a regular cave flat wall. It doesn't go very deep. It's only about, like, maybe 3 meters at most into the mountain. So your like area to move around here is much nicer than it is crawling across the mountain, but it's still not, it's still like a tiny shack at best.
Has anything happened since that thread? Has sound dampened or anything?
Nope, it is still the same. And following it saying that, it proceeds to continue saying it proceeds to continue saying help me.
Don't mind what I'm looking at.
I'm going to once again think, and this time see if we can get it. Ask what's this noise? Maybe you can relay anything.
The response to you, like, asking this in your head is not different like it was before. It is, once again, help me. And there is no change.
I'm going to look at the other two. I'm going to put my finger to my lips and pantomime. I'm going to close my eyes and point to my head and see if they can put two and two together.
Asch being a decently smart fellow.
Oh, I see that was intelligence rolled, people.
It's 18. Let's go. Fuck. 18
Well,
Whatever this is, I will let Runt be the one to set the DC for it, because I find it funnier that way.
I was just going to use base DC, because we have been traveling enough.
to have a
Right.
vague
So
understanding.
if you were thinking base DC 10, then they both managed to
Yeah.
pass Zephyr barely.
And then I immediately just start realizes what he's doing, and copy as best to his ability.
Same.
I just want to imagine when Zephyr does it. Zephyr's just like standing like a crane, one leg folded back, standing on one. It's like
Oh, yes,
peace of mind,
absolutely.
full focused.
Absolutely.
So the party sits here with this blaring noise in the back of their mind on this platform underneath this brief overhang of a mountain. You are approximately, due to Zephyr's more like innate sense of height, you would say about like 350 to 450 kilometers above the ground, somewhere within that
Holy
range.
shit.
You've been climbing for a while, but the nature step that Runt offered has made it pretty quick.
Oh yeah, I haven't willingly succumbed to the thing already? To actually be able to hear it?
No,
That's what I was hinting at.
I willingly succumbed to it. That is my choice now.
you, like the other two, can hear help me in the same sort of way.
I respond back through thought. How could I help?
No different answer to that one. Once again,
I respond back again. Where can I help?
in here. And just like Runt, you feel this like ephemeral like line between you and something on the opposite side of this wall.
Is it like full blast wall?
It is a straight up mountain face wall.
Now,
Can I-
question, real quick. Do I see this other thread? Or is it just...
Yeah, this is the same thread that Runt is seeing. It's just like, imagine like a white, mildly glowing like
tether?
thread of something coming from the middle of your chest and branching out.
So there's like two of them now, for me and one for Asch?
There's
That-
one, you can't perceive the one that
Okay.
he's seeing, and he cannot perceive the one that you're seeing. This is just what you can see.
Question.
You can only see
Could
around
I
them.
throw a fireball at the wall to see if I can blast it open?
How
I mean,
far
you
is
could.
the wall
You could
from
try.
us?
The wall is at most 3 meters away.
Oh. How big is the blast radius?
A lot bigger than 3 meters.
20-foot
would've-
radius spread.
I want to try something.
Less violent.
No, something different. I'm going to look at Zephyr. And using this white noise, try to mentally speak to Zephyr.
And Zephyr's just like still in the crane pose, focused.
You're attempting to project your thoughts to your compatriot.
Mm-hmm.
And Zephyr hears nothing but what they've already been hearing.
Okay.
So Zephyr, you just have this. You're just looking in front of you. You still have this headache, so you're still a bit peeved. But you see Runt just looking at you and just like straining his face as if he's trying to do something, and nothing happens.
Yes. What? You need a.
You take a
go
shit?
behind a rock. Yeah, go behind a rock or something.
There's a cliff edge there. Just take it off that.
And Zephyr, has she actually heard or asked anything from
Zephyr has not voluntarily given into this signal yet.
Okay, I'm going to look at Asch and try the same thing.
Once again, the same sort of result. Still, the only noise you hear is the same as what was before.
And backwards, as I notice it, I just do the same back because I have a vague understanding what he's trying to do, hearing the voices in my head as well.
Trying to do the same back to him at the same time, still nothing.
It'd just be funny. It just fries both our heads, and we just get a just really knockout.
I mean, you're both like squinching a little bit. It gives you a tiny headache for a moment.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a gander at the area and see if there's any way to enter.
So you're inspecting the wall. Would you do, I believe, is there an investigation skill or something?
It all falls under perception for this.
All right, yeah, so it all falls under perception. Then do a perception for me. All right. Doing pretty well.
Shit.
So, you walk towards this wall, and you're attempting to find something that you can use to get through it in some way, shape, or form. You've sort of ironed out that attacking it with a fireball would be a bad idea because it'll launch you all off the cliff.
It would probably kill us all.
It would
Yeah,
probably
that too.
kill the person that's closest.
At the same time, though, you start to scan your hand over the face of this rough stone surface before you as the noise continues to burst in the back of your head, and this hell continues. The thread on your chest doesn't change where it's going to. It continues to go to some point in the distance, so it's not giving you any clues. But as you proceed, at this point, it's around nighttime, but you pull out like a torch or some
I
equivalent
have a
source of
torch.
light to take care of that. Yeah, you have
Oh, yeah,
dark
that's right, I
vision.
have
You have dark vision, and so you are still looking about, but you're mostly feeling around this. Eventually, you feel like a shape on one of the edges of the wall that you stop and continue to like basically just like press against this to see if you can figure out what the hell it is, because it is very subtle, the indentations here. You can't really see it even with your dark vision, but there's a shape to this, and it's something.
Okay.
After about another hour, you finally realize what it is.
Right. I'm gonna hold that. I'm not gonna mess with it yet. I'm gonna keep my hand on it, but obviously the voice is still interacting with this. I am going to think to the creature or entity, what's wrong? Because this, we've probably all just, me and Ash have probably all been hearing help me. this entire time.
Yeah, and it's probably got on our character's nerves.
And that is all you can really hear from it.
It hurts. What hurts? Are you alone?
And at this point, instead of help me, it continues to say, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
Do I get any kind of different reply with, are you alone?
No. It just continues to
Actually, I want to do
frustratedly say, it hurts.
I want to do a quick test in my mind. I know a specific language. I want to test if the thing could actually detect. Remember
Right.
when you asked me what other languages, because I had an extra language spare, and I just chose that one language in Pacific?
Let's see.
I'm gonna ask in that language, can you hear me in that language in Pacific? It's the last one on the far right.
Its change is nothing. It does not seem to perceive that you're speaking something fancy. It just continues.
So it doesn't perceive the difference in language.
No,
Okay.
it does not notice anything.
The reason why I'm keeping it secret is because lore reasons.
Funny. I am wondering if any of you have actually, let me double check to see if any of you have relevant language. I'm doing this for my purpose.
Well, would you like me to say what languages I have?
No, you don't have to say it out loud. You're keeping it secret for a purpose.
No, I'm keeping that one language secret. The rest is quite easy to understand. I have.
Well, I have a language that only Druids speak. I will ask you something in Druidic.
Same result.
Okay.
Draconic. I try with Draconic.
Same result.
Terran.
The sound stops.
Oh.
Brother,
I will...
help me.
Like the ringing stops entirely?
This is the only one who can understand what it means is now Runt, who is hearing it in Terran.
I don't think I'm your brother, but I will help you regardless. What is going on? And by the way, Terran is...
Brother.
I was going to say, what is Terran?
It's a terrestrial language. It's more of... I took this language because of what Trisky said I would have for swamps, but it's basically the language of Earth.
Oh, Earth Elementals.
Yep, basically.
Because I have a language I'm not sure if Trisky will ever make an event where I actually get to make use of it.
I will firstly say we are here to help. Can you stop the sound?
Can't stop.
How do we get in?
Don't know. Help me. All of this is in Terran, so throughout this entire thing, it's speaking much more eloquently and less hushed. Yeah, but also, the Terran language itself is spoken really slowly.
I'm going to cast Slide on my hand, revealing what I found on the wall. And I guess press it.
You press into it. It doesn't seem to do anything, but you do feel like a little bit of way give.
Okay, I try to find a central object and cast Slide on a central object to see if there's any more objects on the wall since it's dark out.
All right, so you're casting light to inspect the rest of the wall to see if there's anything similar?
Yeah.
All right, as you do, and you start to look across it, all the places where you were feeling along, there wasn't anything like this that sort of seemed to step out. The shape, once again, is very subtle in its like inset into the wall. But now that you've pressed it, it's a little bit more pronounced in its feeling. But it doesn't seem to have done anything on its own.
Right. Okay. Go ahead.
And as you continue to look across the wall, you start to see what to you, from your very strange personal studies into the Terran language and the Terran culture, if there is even a culture to be called, you start to see more rudimentary symbols of Earth strewn across it. All in this very subtle, but they're at varying different heights, and you were sort of like, the initial pass, you were sort of going along the middle. There's like the diamond on the middle on the very right side. There's like a base triangle at the top, but probably indicative of mountains or something. There's a circle, square, kind of just like basic geometric shapes in various different spots, but they're all very subtly indented into this wall.
Is there anything written on the wall?
No, there is no language.
How many figures?
There are 5. So there is a diamond, a triangle, a circle, a square, and a rhombus.
Runt will firstly probably push the diamond button to see if anything else happens with that.
Sorry, I meant parallelogram, not rhombus, because rhombus is actually the diamond shape. Words.
Yeah, well, Runt will push the diamond to see if it it basically pulls out.
You push it, and it seems to come back out to the same like subtle level.
Now, hear me. By the way, so I'm guessing the sound for me has completely stopped. Like no more ringing.
No, you are still hearing this humming. You're still basically deaf.
Okay. I will look
just
at...
the communication between you and this creature got clearer, but there's still all that shit in the background right below it.
So, above board, this is me talking to the other players. I'm thinking this is obviously a puzzle, and my first thought was we go from less edges to most edges. Or it's just to push all the button. But I don't know how to convey that as Runt. Because Runt is dumb.
Well, that's going to be the funny part. But just to leave you all in suspense, and also sort of because I want Chaise to be around for if you manage to get past this, I am going to call it today for a session.
Good session.
As you see this wall, notice these very subtle inlet shapes and are fighting back against this noise in the back of your head that ever gets louder and louder. And you have learned that this strange source speaks Terran.
It'd be funny when Chaise actually gets back for next session. Chaise just thinks
roll
her
us a
character's just gone
fortitude
insane.
save. Roll us 2 fortitude saves. Chaise.
Yeah, Chaise.
We suddenly discovered Chaise was all way more.
I was actually rolling Chaise's fortitude save, so Chaise had the same sort of like embossed edge sharpen effect as Asch earlier, and Chaise had passed the one that Zephyr barely failed because it was DC 12.
I just want to imagine for next session though, just Chaise gets back to play for next session, and Chaise just thinks their character's gone mad.
Oh yeah. Now I'll brief her very well on it. And
no, don't. It'll be funny.
No, it's better if she knows what we're...
She's technically been here the whole entire time. She knows, in character, at least.
In character, yeah.
But with that in mind, thank you everyone once again for coming to the Monsters of Morgram. I am Trisky. I have been your not-so-humble GM, and joining me has been Runt the Goblin Druid, Asch the Kobold Wizard, and Zephyr the Harpie Monk.
Swoosh.
Thank you very much. Have a great one.
Bye bye.